They've been called one of the most important bands of 2015, featured on the cover of Kerrang! Magazine, and in just a few days are about to drop a massive single from their latest album. And on top of that, they are currently in the middle of their biggest UK tour. So it's a busy week for Architects then, Sam.
Yes, it's been a very busy week, and it's been a busy like last year and this year actually. It's been crazy really, but yeah, this week is really sort of jamming it in and getting to see like how the record's done, and it's been a really great week.
Nice one. And on top of that, this morning you were just announced for Slam Dunk Festival. That is huge.
We're really excited for it, and we've known for a while, and headlining the second stage, which is awesome, and a lot of friends there, like so many friends there. The bill was insane, so we're excited. We're very excited.
Nice one. Okay, so first of all, you are currently, like I said, this is your biggest UK tour so far. You're playing massive venues. How is it going so far?
Yeah, it's been great, really. It's it's a serious jump up in some places. Last night we played to 1,500 people in Manchester, and that was something I never thought we would do. And tonight here again at ABC, it's a fantastic venue, and it's selling really well. I think it's nearly there, but it's going to be a good night.
So, I mean, like, this is the first time you've played venues of sort of this size, or headlining at least. How does it compare, if you've gone from smaller venues to like upgrade to something this size? Is it different for you guys? Is it any different?
I think we still go into it with the same mentality, but nothing can really prepare you for like going on stage and seeing that many people liking your band. But it's just insane, really. It's just so fun. It's so fun to be able to have this opportunity to do it, and it's a really good time.
Nice one. And after an album that got to number 16, Lost Forever, Lost Together, I always get that wrong around. These are the type of venues that I think everyone would agree this is where Architects belong, and somewhere this size. Do you feel like you belong playing these big venues, or would you maybe rather go back to like little club intimate stuff?
I think for the style of music and the production and how much has gone into it, I think it suits these kind of venues, but I think also it can be played in smaller venues as well, and but yeah, I really like playing these venues, so I would like to stay in them. It sounds great. Everyone gets to experience like a full show, and we're very excited.
Nice one. So are we going the way of Bring Me the Horizon and maybe Wembley on the horizon? Oh
well, I would like to one day, but I think we've still got a while off yet. It'd be great to do. We're looking forward like one step at a time. We'd love to do Barrowlands, and we'd love to do Brixton. Those kind of venues. I think, that's what we think might be achievable, but you never know. And if it's not, we're very very happy at this level that we're at right now.
So I think everybody's happy to have Architects right here, right where you belong in these size venues. It was such a shame to. Things that went back again, it would just kind of suck, really. Okay, so you this week or last week you done your first Kerrang cover, which was huge, and I read the interview. It's such an in-depth interview, like on the insight into Architects, into your life and stuff. And you in particular talk about British metalcore music and the overtake of pop punk. Suddenly there's like 100 pop punk bands to maybe one or two metalcore bands. Do you think that metalcore, or British metalcore in particular, is a dying breed?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I feel like, having been asked this question so many times, well, not so many times, but alluding to, the question about general metalcore in the UK, I felt at the start, I thought maybe it was just us being ignorant and that we had sort of lost touch with maybe the metal scene, but then I was like, well, there's no way we had, because we're still in it, we're still involved within it. So I did some research and tried to find some bands, but other than like While She Sleeps and Bury Tomorrow and those kind of bands, there isn't any. I can't think of any like new, young, exciting bands that are coming up other than pop punk bands, really. And that's not me being insulting and saying like, oh, pop punk. I love pop punk. Blink are one of my favourite bands, and it's just weird because we came up with so many other metalcore bands around us. like us, Silosis, Bring Me, even, you know, Bury Tomorrow around then as well. But you know, Beecher, Johnny Truant, like all those bands, we were all coming up together, and now there's just everyone's dropping off, or well, not dropping off because you know Silosis are still smashing it. Their new record's amazing. Bring Me are obviously still killing it, and we're doing our stuff as well. But yeah, there's not that like. Not like the youth academy that there once was, you know.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I don't know, it's not really something I've ever thought of. But then after in your interview, I was like, no, there's a ton of bands. There's Beartooth and there's Amity Affliction. But I was like, they're American and Australian. There's like these bands are coming from around the world and they sound amazing. But yeah, there's just nobody's doing it for Britain.
No, exactly. That's it. And it's always interesting when we go to put tours together, because if there was one, we would put them on it. You know, we like last tour we took out. We took out Landscapes and we took out More Than Life as well, and they're both hardcore bands though. But you know, we do take pride in the British bands.
Okay, so you know, there's a ton of pop punk bands in Britain right now that are really breaking through and getting themselves known. Who's doing it for you right now? In terms of pop punk.
Well, there's so many. I haven't really given much time of day to it. I do quite like that As It Is band. They're a new band, yeah. Yeah, they're cool, and I've met them. I've met the I think it's the bass player. He has the same hair as me. I met him. That's my description of him. I met him at the Kerrang Awards last year. Him and his fiance. His fiance's really good friends with my girlfriend, so I met them there. He just seemed like a really nice chap, and they just seem to be enjoying it, you know. And obviously Neck Deep are doing really well as well, and you know, stoked for them.
Nice one. Okay, so Bring Me the Horizon. Let's go back to metalcore again. We're just going to jump back and forth here. Probably one of, if not the most iconic band in their genre. They're just killing it right now. But last year, they released 2 songs at the end of last year, and they sounded nothing like Bring Me the Horizon. They've got Drown, which was still kind of like hard rock, but completely different. And then there was Don't Look Down, which was just like a complete musical 180 in terms of Bring Me. What do you think of that? Do you think they're now, like ditching metalcore and trying to keep themselves relevant by changing their musical style?
Well, I mean, I think they've been a band for as long as we have, if not maybe a bit longer. But I think every band has to evolve, and I think they're a very creative bunch of people. I know that "Don't Look Down" song was specifically written for Radio 1, and it was a very interesting song. It was cool. And "Drown" is a great song. It's an anthem, and I think it's great for them to do that, and I think it's great for metal bands in general, because it bridges that gap. I remember being a kid and hearing bands doing that and getting me into heavier bands and stuff, and Bring Me is still a very heavy band, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see where they go with the new record, but I'm sure it'll be massive. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I don't want to diss Bring Me the Horizon by any means, because I love Drown. It's such an incredible, and even Don't Look Down. I hated it the first time, but when you sort of listen to it, you get the underlying Bring Me vibes, all his vocals and stuff, and it does sound pretty epic. Okay, so let's talk about you guys for a second. Let's talk about Architects. And just a couple of days, you're about to drop a brand new single from Lost Forever called "Youth is Wasted on the Young." Do you really think that the youth today are wasting their time, being young?
I think it's more. It was more about just sort of us, and
this is more of like a personal thing.
Yeah, and I think it's sort of more like where you don't know what you've got till it's gone, sort of vibe. We've spent a long time doing this, and this has been our lives, and before you even know it, it's gone. You're like, okay, we're growing up now. We spent the last 10 years of our lives touring, and then you look back and you're like, fuck, I'm 26 now. When I first started this, I was 17, 18, and it's crazy to think it's gone, but you never really take it in when you're in it, and I think it was more just sort of like a self-assessment, kind of we're still here and still enjoying it.
It's like a self-assessment as opposed to an assessment on society.
Yeah.
Okay, so that kind of fits in with my next question. If you could, go back maybe 10 years, whatever, would you do anything different to sort of make the most of being that age? Is there anything that you feel like you've missed out on, and if you could, you would do it?
No, I don't think there's. I think band-wise, I think everything is. I wouldn't change the thing really. I'm so happy with how it all ended up, and everything happens for a reason. personally, I probably would have liked to have played football a bit more. I loved doing that when I was a kid, and then I just sort of left it for a bit. I would have carried on playing, but no, I'm very happy. I'm really, really happy with how life seems to have somehow worked out. So no, I wouldn't. If I went back in time and moved anything, I'd be scared that it would change anything.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I don't want to change things how they are now, do you? Okay, how about this? Instead of changing the thing, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what do you think it would be?
Chill out. Yeah, just relax. I used to get so worked up over everything and be so like on edge all the time. So I would have just told myself to shut up and get on with it.
Fair enough. Okay. So just a couple more questions. Over the past year or so, architects have evolved so much. You guys, personally, like, as a band musically, you've achieved so much. Lost Forever got to number 16 in album chart, which is huge. It's breaking the top 20. That is, it's like Ed Sheeran level of music. And in your interview with Kerrang, you mentioned how you're all still such good friends. As a band, you're great friends. Do you think that it's because you are great friends that you're so close that you've achieved what you could? Do you think if you're one of those bands who never speak to each other, do you think you'd still achieve what you have?
I think if we were one of those bands that didn't really speak to each other, I don't think we'd be a band still. I think we went through a lot. We've been through a lot together, but I think at the same time, like even when it was rough, it was like at least we had each other to make each other laugh and get through it, And I think we are so close now, and especially when you're this age, you kind of figure out, well, not like I don't want to sound like I've got a foot in the grave or anything, but when you get to like 26, 27, you sort of figure out like who you're going to be friends with for the rest of your life, because you have so many people come in and out of your life when you're at school and then college, and I mean, not that we really did much of that after school, but you I love these guys, and we can live in each other's pockets for a whole year and still want to hang out with each other, and our girlfriends are best friends with each other, and it's just like a really big family that we have, and we're all just stoked to be able to do this and to be able to come away, and yeah, I think if we weren't friends, it would be a bit sad,
It's great to hear. It is nice to hear that, especially now, because of the whole Blink-182 situation. Probably one of everybody's like at some point favourite band, and everything that's happened with Tom and stuff. It's like it's horrible to read about. I don't know them personally, but I'm like, that sucks so much. Blink-182 are so iconic. Yeah,
it was a weird thing to read about, because I don't know them personally. I know people famous that work with Travis's best friends, and I speak to them quite a lot, but I think it's been a long time coming, and I think it really has been Tom just not being as down for it as Mark and Travis are. So in light of it all, I think it's pretty sick that Travis and Mark are like, no, we want to do Blink, right? And they're getting Skiba on board, and I love Alkaline Trio, so I think it would just be cool I think maybe the vibe on the last couple of records hasn't had that sort of like really gelling vibe for them, so hopefully Skiba will be able to bring it in and make it good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to hearing what they can come up with next, and I'm so happy that Blink-182 are still around. But in terms of that, like as a band, as the frontman for Architects, or just like as a group in general, what do you guys have to do to stop yourselves becoming one of those bands that drift apart and aren't friends, and are just sort of together on stage and then you never see each other after that? What do you have to do to maintain that friendship? I think
it's like a certain kind of person that has that sort of like ego side to them, and I don't think we're very lucky that none of us really have that at all. I think there's the odd flash every now and then of it, but I think that's more out of like frustration for things. But I just don't think we're like that. We're always on tour with bands, and people are always seeing us walking off together or seeing us hanging out together, and we're like, it really is as simple as I try and explain it to people. It's like, remember when you were a kid at school and you had like your group of like best mates? That's what it is. But you get to travel and play shows every night, and I find it so interesting when people complain about it, and it's like, this is the best job in the world. Like, you have no right to complain.
That is the best answer I think I could have hoped for to that question. That's amazing. You're such like a down to earth frontman. You're not like so many people who lead bands who think they are it. They're the person, and it's really nice to actually have the chance to come here and speak to you and just see that you have a number 16 album, in the charts, you're playing venues the size of the ABC, but your ego isn't the size of the ABC.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I'm not like saying it's not an act or anything. Like I don't have it in me to be like that person, and I think people and certain people that I know in this industry do have it, and that's fine. Like that's your thing. But for me, if I wasn't in the band, I'd be in the crowd and I'd be like loving it. So I just feel like there's like a responsibility to, like, because of the bands that I grew up listening to, like there's a responsibility to let kids know that you don't have to be a fucking rock star to be in a band that does well. Like you just have to put the time in and the effort, and it all works out.
Nice one. Okay, so before I let you go, and tonight you're going to absolutely kill it here in Glasgow, I've got no doubt. I've just got one more question for you. You probably hate hearing this, but I've got to ask, and that is, what is next for Architects?
We have. I don't hate it that much, actually. We have 2 weeks off after this, finally, and then we go to Australia for a headline tour, and it's us, Stick to Your Guns, Being as an Ocean, and a band called Stories, which will be sick. I love Stick to Your Guns, so it's going to be cool to be out there with them. And then after that, we have Slam Dunk. We go to Russia. There's a few festivals here and there, and then it's writing the album.
Wow. So no break then, just like straight into it.
Yeah, it's like bits and pieces, but I think we've got like 8 months, including recording, off coming up somewhere, which is crazy. But we just got to get down to following up the record, and we're just excited to do that. Really, just sort of after the success of the new one, it's just sort of just going to be so fun to go in the studio and try and do it again. It's going
to be our top 10 this time.
Well, I would love it if it was, but I mean, none of us expected top 20. Like we literally were like, if it gets in the top 40, we'll be over the moon. When we found out it was number 16, I thought someone was joking. So who knows? Like if maybe we can get top 10. If we don't, then we don't. But we're really happy with where we are, and I think the overall reception of the record is the most important thing.
That's awesome, and it's probably well away yet, but I cannot wait to hear what you guys come up with.
I'm excited as well.
Sam, thank you so much for taking the time out to have a chat with me today. Good luck with the show tonight, the rest of the tour, and everything else. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks, man.